So what makes a city really tick? It's more than just a name on a map. It's a living, breathing thing. Today, we're going to look under the hood of one city, Arlington, Texas, to see if we can figure out its blueprint for success. All right, let's jump in. Every big story has its doubters, right? This quote right here, it just perfectly captures the vibe of our first section. It's all about a massive, city-defining gamble that, believe me, had plenty of people saying, no way.
And yeah, that gamble was AT&T Stadium, the incredible home of the Dallas Cowboys. But building it wasn't just about football. Oh no, it was a billion-dollar bet on the city's entire future.
So how'd they pull it off? Well, back in 2005, voters actually agreed to pay for a big chunk of it, $325 million, through a mix of taxes on sales, hotels, and even rental cars. The plan was to have it all paid off by 2035. It was a huge ask, and for a lot of people, it felt incredibly risky. But get this, here's where the story gets wild. By managing their money like absolute pros, the city saved a staggering $151 million in interest and fees they thought they were going to have to pay. I mean, that's not just good accounting, that's a home run.
And it wasn't just about the money either. They didn't just save cash, they saved a ton of time. The entire debt was paid off a full decade ahead of schedule. A 30-year loan gone in just 20 years. Incredible.
So, in the end, that huge bet, it paid off. Big time. Just as Mayor Jim Ross says, the stadium became the economic engine they hoped it would be, hosting everything from the World Cup to Taylor Swift, and really putting Arlington on the map.
Okay, so a massive stadium is one thing, but a city isn't just built on concrete and steel, right? You need a powerful engine on the ground floor, driven by the folks who take risks every single day. Let's talk about the entrepreneurs.
So what exactly is an entrepreneur? Well, the magazine here puts it pretty simply. It's someone who gets things going, takes on the risk, and makes something happen. These are the people who create a culture of let's do this. So let's meet a couple of them.
First up, we've got Dr. Joan Bergstrom, and her story, it's a perfect example of that Arlington spirit, stretching across two totally different and super demanding industries.
I mean, just think about this for a second. On one side, she founded the biggest all-female OB/GYN practice in the entire county. And on the other, she owns the Sanford House, this beautiful luxury hotel. It just shows this deep-seated drive, not just to build a business, but to invest in and lift up the community itself.
And here's another key player, David L. Cook. His story shows that in a place like Arlington, being a business leader and a community leader are really just two sides of the same coin.
You see this pattern with him? He's the managing partner of a big law firm, he's a state representative, and he's coached youth sports. It's like his whole philosophy is that success in your career should fuel how you serve your community and vice versa. He's setting the pace.
Okay, so we've got the money, we've got the business leaders. But that's not the whole story, is it? A city needs a soul, and that comes from a strong community fabric, woven together by culture, art, and just doing things together.
And from what we're seeing, Arlington's scene is absolutely alive. You've got open mic nights at places like Binion's Ice House, huge arts festivals filling the streets, and workshops where anybody can go and get creative. This isn't just stuff to watch, it's stuff to do.
And that right there, that's the secret sauce. The magazine makes a huge point about this. Art only works if people participate. Being in the crowd is just as important as being on the stage. Your energy, your applause, that's what fuels the whole creative scene.
And they're building this spirit right into the next generation. Just look at the new YMCA. They're not just offering basketball. We're talking robotics, esports, even archery. They're building a community that's ready for whatever comes next.
All right, let's dig a little deeper now. Because a city's identity, well, it's not just about what it's building for tomorrow, it's also about what it chooses to remember from yesterday.
Take a look at the story of Charles Leike. It's really something. He was an Army chaplain, received the Medal of Honor for unbelievable bravery in Vietnam. We're talking carrying more than 20 wounded guys to safety while under fire. But years later, that same conscience led him to give back that same medal to protest U.S. policy.
I mean, just let that sink in. He's saying the same core principle that made him a hero, trying to save lives, is the same reason he became a peace activist. For a community to honor a story that complex, that says a lot about its character. And from that profound moral story, we pivot to another kind of hero Arlington honors. This one's made of steel,
but it represents that same spirit of grit and ingenuity.
Yep, the legendary Jeep. Over 640,000 of these little guys were built during World War II, and General Eisenhower himself called it one of America's key tools for victory. When residents like Russ Ross preserve these artifacts, they're keeping a vital piece of American history and its lessons of resilience alive for all of us.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground, right? Big public projects, local entrepreneurs, community arts, and deep history. So, let's try to put all the pieces together and decode this Arlington Blueprint.
And look, before we get to the blueprint itself, you gotta see the results. The numbers don't lie. We're talking over 16 million visitors a year, spending more than $3 billion. It's pretty clear that whatever they're doing, it's working.
So this is it. This is the Arlington Blueprint boiled down. It seems to be 4 key things. 1, make bold, calculated bets. 2, fuel that entrepreneurial engine from the ground up. 3, actively weave a strong community fabric through participation. And 4, anchor it all by honoring a legacy that's deep, complex, and meaningful.
It's a powerful model that's clearly working for Arlington. And it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Whether we're talking about your own town, your company, or even just your own life, what's your blueprint for success?